Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is IC. I am the host of the SITDOWN UK, and this is our weekly INSTALIVE session where we get guests on and we unpack their stories. We unpack the highs, the lows, everything in between. So thank you for joining us. If you haven't joined us before and you're not too sure what we do here, follow. We have a live event that we do, and we also have this that we do every Thursday, 9 p.m. This Monday, we've got some amazing news. We're going to announce our next event. So please, stay glued to the socials. If you want to come down to our event, it's going to be happening on the 30th of November. Becky, are you hearing this? Becky, 30th of November. Okay? So from now, put that in your diaries. And it's going to be an amazing evening on Monday. We're going to be announcing who our special guest is. Can't wait. It's going to be amazing. If you want to check out anything that we've been doing on here, we've got close to 67 episodes that you can check out. Jump on our IGTV, check them out, man. Have a good view for all of them. Binge. Check out our YouTube channel via the link in the bio. But I'm telling you, Monday, we're going to be announcing our special guest for our next event, 30th of November. Becky, tell your friend to tell your friend to tell your sister's dog, okay? 30th of November. We got Simply Ammo. We've got Aaron in the building. I'm coming over to you, bro. '30th of November. How you doing, bro?
Good evening, sorry. I was about to say afternoon. Good evening. How are you, bro?
I am good, man. I'm good, man. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
Wicked, man. Come on. It's only right. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good. Busy day with work and all that, but we're here, man. We're in the place to be, so it's all good, man. How you been today?
Wicked. What do you do for work? I don't even know what you do for work. What do you do for work?
I teach young people financial education.
Oh, I love that. Financial literacy.
Yeah.
Very important.
100%. Believe that. So like when young people are leaving care, they have to come and do like a 5-day course with me, and then they get their flat from the council just so that they know how to manage bills, electric, gas, water, all those type of things. So,
very important.
Yeah, man.
Very important.
Yeah, 100. Well, this is 21 questions. You know how it runs. You got 21 questions or more. And you got one pass card. All right, one pass card. So if you don't want to answer a question, you can you can use your pass card. But in our in our 66 episodes, only one person has used a pass card.
Ah, okay.
One person.
All right.
So let's see if you use it. And big up to everyone that's joining us. Like I was saying just before you came, 30th of November is our next live event. It's the SITDOWN live event where we get a guest, we unpack their story, similar to what we do here every Thursday, but we do it in the flesh. We've been locked down for so long. September we had Shanice Sharway, but this Monday we're going to be announcing our guest, and I cannot wait. Hey, all right, 30th November, put in your diaries. All right, let's get cracking lacking. Let's start this right, actually. I'm going to play a song that is quite close to your heart.
Good. Let's go.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is. That's right. That's right. That's the anthem. I'm coming down the aisle to that one. I'm coming down the aisle to that one.
If there's any North Wheeziers in the building, let me see your NW in the comment section, please.
Come on.
All right, so let's get it cracking. We're going to start with our quick fire round, quick questions. As they come to your mind, answer them as best you can. All right, let's go. So first question is, how did your big meeting go?
Do you know what? It went really well, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was a little bit taken aback. Like, yeah, I was a bit taken aback. The person who I went to meet, who's got a very certified position within the industry, was just kind of singing my praises for the whole time, which kind of took me aback. I was a bit, you weren't really expecting it. I was a bit like, okay, thank you. A bit taken aback, bro. But give thanks, man. Give thanks. Things are moving, and I guess respect is being put onto the efforts that are being made.
100%.
You know what I mean? I can only be thankful.
100%, 100%. Favorite Elvis song?
Oh, how do you know I'm an Elvis fan, bro? You know, it's either Jailhouse Rock or Hound Dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah, I'm a big Elvis fan. You know? I don't know how you knew that, bro.
Hey, we gotta do our research.
Bro, I don't know how I knew that.
Favorite Caroline Duffy poem?
Oh my God. Oh, bro. Jesus Lord. You can't do that to me, bro.
Only one.
Jesus. The City.
Okay.
Yeah, one called The City. Yeah.
Cool. What's your signature dish in the kitchen?
Ooh. Do you know what? Yeah, it might be a brown stew chicken now. You know, I'm not gonna lie.
Come on.
Pretty simple, but like yeah, it be tasting.
with what rice?
It's depending, you know. I'm kind of laying off of the rice nowadays. But if I do it, it'll be plain rice, not rice and peas. Plain rice.
Okay, cool.
But nowadays I lay off the rice. I can't lie.
Yeah,
it's more veg. It's more veg with it nowadays. Yeah.
Right, come on. Spit a bar from Two Daddy Crew.
Oh shit! Oh shit! I said Two Daddy. How do you know about Two Daddy, bro? Oh my God. Wow. All right. Boom. Northwest 10 till I die. Trust me, Roach, you don't tell no lie. That's as far as it's going. That's as far as it's going. I can't believe man said Two Daddy.
Big up Two Daddy Crew. What
it.
in your life right now? What are you most proud of?
Ooh. Perseverance, bro. I'll be real.
Come on.
Perseverance, like, because I think from the outside, it might look like things are, you know, we've just been on some steady kind of continual, but it's been difficult, bro. I'm not going to lie. It still is difficult at times. So perseverance is the thing that I'm proud of, so.
Right. Beautiful. Love that. A story, you know, you interview so many people, your documentaries, etc. What is one story that has never left you, like it's always stuck with you, that wow, that really hit you?
You know what? Yeah. What, from the documentaries or just from presenting in general?
Yeah. So even a mixture of both. So from documentaries, interviews.
I think presenting in general was when I met Richard Blackwood, Richard Branson.
Wow.
Richard Branson, and I remember I was speaking to him, and then I was like, "Oh, so where you living now, Richie?" And he was like, "Oh, well, right now I'm in London. Yesterday I was in Poland. Later I'm gonna be in Tokyo, and the day after that I'm gonna be, I can't remember the other place was." And I was like, "That is mad." And then when I'm speaking to him, I'm saying, "So what's next?" He was like, "It's like he was just still so hungry to grow his businesses." And I was like, "This is Richard Branson. Like, you've already done everything." I was thinking, how is this guy so hungry? And it made me think to myself, I can't ever ease up. If Richard Branson is talking to me and he's talking to me with this kind of hunger, yeah, then I've got no reason and no excuse to ease up on my pathway. So I can't lie. Me and Richard Branson really kind of like struck me something different. And I think in terms of documentaries, I met a lady whose daughter was killed because she was a goth, and basically some boys stomped her out in the park. And then what really struck me about the story was that the mum had the strength to take the initials of the girl's name and make an organization, and the organization was called SELFIE, and it stood for Stamp Out Prejudice, Hatred, Intolerance Everywhere. And she would go around schools, go around to different young people and basically teach them about tolerance, teach them about why it's not right to hurt or disrespect anybody else because they're different to you. And I thought to myself, I don't know how she had the strength to do that, and that really stayed with me for a long time, bro. Just the whole story and then the way that mum had strength.
Crazy. I love that. If you could ask God one question, what would it be?
Ooh. I would ask him, why? Oh man, Jesus. I'll probably ask something along the lines of why has hate based on difference been allowed to go on for so long?
Deep. Why
Yeah,
is hate based on difference been allowed to go on for so long? Crazy. Yeah, we all want to know. We all want to know. What is one job you could never do? Mine is a dustbin man. There's bin juices.
They make teas though, you know. Them juices disgusting. Teas though. I think the one job I couldn't do is a job where I have to like continually fire people.
Whoa.
You know, people got those jobs where they, whether it be HR, whether it be whatever. Like there's certain jobs where your job is to go around and find the people who are not like up to working up to standard in companies and fire them. I can't do that, bro. I can't go around fucking up people's lives and, excuse my language, sorry, like messing up people's lives and like messing up their mortgage payments and all that. I couldn't do that, bro. I couldn't do it.
What makes you happy? And are you happy right now in your life?
I think balance makes me happy. Balance, having an equilibrium, having solace. And at the moment, am I happy? Yeah, I'm happy at the moment. I would say I'm happy. Like, probably one of the first times for a while that I've been genuinely happy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I'm happy.
Good. Which country do you feel most alive in when you visit?
Which country?
Yeah.
Home, man. Barbados.
Barbados, yeah.
All day. Feel alive, bro. I feel like I'm meant to be there. Even how my skin reacts. I get back to my normal complexion, bro. My complexion when I'm here is not my normal complexion. I'm telling you, got people out here asking if I'm Moroccan and that. I'm like, bro. I'm from Barbados. But the cold doesn't agree with my skin, bro. I'm telling you, it don't agree with me.
Dinner with Jay-Z or 500K?
I'm cool on Jay-Z, man. I'll have the 500K. I don't even really rate Jay-Z like that. Okay. Respect to what he's done, but Jay-Z's a shiesty brother, bro. He's done it through being shiesty and through being, as you got to be in business, I guess, being like cutthroat. But I don't really respect some of the way that he's moved. So 500K, thank you. I'll invest that.
500K, thank you. And last question, greatest lesson you have learned so far in your life?
The greatest lesson that I learned was when I went to Africa. When I went to Africa, I came back different. I came back realizing that I had been ungrateful and whining too much about what I didn't have rather than focusing on what I did have and what I had achieved. So, and that wasn't specifically to do with like seeing people in Africa. It was more to do with talking to people and realizing the balance within the communities over there and how people make such great use of what they had and done so together in unity. And I was just like, so raw, how am I over here like complaining? And I swear to God, bro, when I came back, I just changed my whole mindset and I went to a gratitude mindset. And no word of a lie, I know it sounds like some sort of fantasy story, but bro, after that, my career started to just go boom. Wow. It's like all I needed to do all my life was just to show more gratitude. And when I did that, opportunities started happening, bro. So that's the greatest gift that I learned is stop focusing on what you haven't achieved or what you haven't got and be grateful for what you have achieved and what you do have.
Yeah. Love it. Light work. Okay, we're done. Quick fire. Light work. Round of applause, please. Light work.
Come on, my guy. Come on. Anybody in the live has got questions, get them in though. We can make this go on. I see there's a few people in here. Yeah. If anybody's got questions, get those questions in, man.
Yeah, at the bottom there's the question function. Put them in there, and as we go along, we'll answer them 100%. All right, cool. Let's get into this. Let's go to your origins. I firmly believe that we're all big children, that we're adults, but really we're just bigger children. And so we grow up with some of those same experiences, mindsets, concepts from our childhood. Some we've put aside, some we still are trying to get rid of. And I wanted to ask for you, what has the difference been between little Aaron and big child Aaron? What has the transition been like?
I'll be real, you know, like I'm constantly learning, bro. Like constantly learning. So I feel like the difference or the transition has been one of just like really acquiring knowledge, bro. Acquiring experiences, and correcting where I may have previously been going wrong. Because at the time when you're going wrong, you don't really realize it.
Yeah.
Big up Marvin in the chat as well. Big up Marvin Harrison. Dope black men. Come on, man. Yeah, so I think it's just like the biggest difference is being more open-minded. I think growing up in a certain environment, we know where I'm from. Growing up in a certain environment, you kind of have the mentality of all of those who are around you and the environment that's around you. And then I think one of the major transitions that happened for me is that when I started to step out on my own, my mind became more open, and therefore I received more information, received more experiences, and I think I became more worldly as a person, more understanding of the world as a person, which probably led me to doing what I do in my career now. I'm not too sure if I stayed with that small kind of limited mindset, I would have been able to go into the environments that I've gone into and speak to the people that I've spoken to with such ease. To answer Marvin's question as well, sorry if I missed it, what some of the people who have played a pivotal role in your development. I'll be honest, yeah, you know, I've been lucky. I've had people in my life and my career who had more belief in me than I had in myself. So the first person that I'll call out is a guy called AJ Power, or AJ Jasinski. He's someone who directed a short film that I was in, and he thought that I could be a presenter. So he dragged me to Brixton like every week, recording this like little news flash that we used to do, and then in the end, that ended up being used as an example of what I could do. That took me to another level. I want to big up Marlena, Hanny, and Red. They were three ladies who managed me when I was like, I had nothing to manage. And I remember when they said they wanted to manage me, I was like, why would you want to manage me? I don't really have anything of any worth, but they saw some worth in me. And they carried me and got me bookings. And one of the bookings that they got me ended up with someone doing an application for me to SBTV. And then obviously the rest is history. I won that competition and so on and so forth. So I want to pick up those people who had more faith in me than I had in myself. Because I don't know if I would have made the moves I did if it wasn't for people like them. Big up Marvin for that question as well.
Yeah, big up Marvin. And guys, if you've got any questions, do so. You can probably put it in the comments, or you can actually put it in the question function at the bottom. In that, well, not in that period of time, but more so now, what has been your relationship like with your parents?
The relationship with my parents has been, do you know what? God bless them still, but it has been a strained one. Like, I think when I was young, I was a bit rowdy, temperamental, like a bit wild, to be honest. When I got older and I started to realize or think about what I wanted to do, they didn't really believe in that. To be honest, anything that I tried to do outside of academics, my parents have never really properly been supportive of. I think they didn't mind it as maybe hobbies, but whenever I tried to take it a bit more seriously, they weren't really the most supportive. But I think time and sometimes even distance kind of helps to heal those issues. I think when me and my parents got a little bit more distance, it brought us closer, which is weird. My parents moved back to Barbados, and during that time, like, it's like we got really close. I think it's almost, you could almost say that I missed them, even though I'm not really a missing people kind of person. I think I'm very used to being on my own. But I think them leaving, it kind of brought us closer. And I think also me starting to achieve certain things in my career made them understand that what I was doing wasn't some sort of pipe dream, and I actually was very serious about what I was trying to do. So I think that helps as well. But I think I would personally do it a bit different. If someone has a dream, I think you should encourage them. If you can see that it's pointless, maybe be realistic with it, but still be encouraging. I don't think you should ever try to almost go against when someone has a dream or a hope or an aspiration of going somewhere. But Caribbean parents, it's a bit different, bro. They don't come from this whole let me have a dream. They come from a background of let's work hard and let's get a craft, or let's get a job, let's get a trade, and let's save money, and let's be realistic about our options in life. So I can't blame them. But me personally, I would take a different approach.
Yeah. And you've spoken about that a couple of times in a few interviews where you understand that dynamic because of where they came from. They came and they saw what worked. These were the jobs. Come to the UK, these are the things that work. So now you're talking about some abstract, you want to do present. Like, does that...
And at the time as well, how many people on TV did you see that looked like me?
Yeah.
They're thinking, this boy is crazy.
And so for them, their mind says, that doesn't work. Let us stick to what works, just so that there's stability and you have security.
Yeah.
But we know...
And I understand it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, it's this whole grown-up process that brings more clarity. When we're younger, it's difficult. We're still trying to figure out ourselves. So to understand where they're coming from, sometimes it takes, like you said, distance, but it also takes maturation. And eventually we'll get there. You mentioned, you would do it different as a parent. In terms of the career aspect, that's one thing. Is there anything else that you've kind of learned from your upbringing that you would say you'd bring into your parenthood style if you choose to have children, if you want to have children?
Yeah, I think there is. I think inevitably we become our parents. You know what I mean? Even if we don't want to. You know what I mean? You might catch yourself one day like scolding the same way that your dad was scolding you, and it's like, oh my God, wow, am I my dad? Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think inevitably, like, some of the ways that I think, you know what's good about us as a generation is that we can take the good and also see what didn't go so well and adapt accordingly. Do you know what I mean? So I think there will be certain parts, like personally, I think, the Caribbean strong arm discipline way of raising a child is not all the way wrong. I think there is some validity in it. So I feel like there are elements from my upbringing that I would definitely bring into what I do as a parent. But I think overall we're in a different time and a different world, man. Like, it has to be adapted accordingly. But at the same time, I think fundamentals are still important as well. I think there is a lot of value in fundamental, and I feel like we can't drift away too much from what we fundamentally were. I think it's very important to still have an element of that in who we are as people, and especially in the way that we go on to pay it forward and treat our children and our children's children, because otherwise we're going to lose our culture as well, because a lot of the way that we are and a lot of the way that we would raise children is embellished in our culture as people. So if you take away one, you take away the other. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's very important to hold on to the fundamental cultures, because naturally, us being in England, for instance, it's easy for it to be lost. But I still see value in some of them old Caribbean ways, even though some of them might be dated. I don't know about licking my children though. I was talking to my friend about it. I was saying, when you think about it, some of the beatings that we were subject to is kind of abusive,
Yeah.
When you think about it now, I saw a meme just now, and the boy was talking about when you grab the belt or something like that, and then the mum goes from the belt to like thumping him up, and it's kind of funny. But then when you think about it, that's actually abuse. So I think we need to learn how to tone down that abusive beating and find another alternative way to discipline children. But yeah, 100%. It is what it is.
Let me go on to you again, just to signal that next part we're talking about. Suavo.
Big up Suavo, Big up Suavo.
Suavo. There's a quote that you said. You said in an interview, I had a lot of issues as a young person. I was very angry. I had a lot of issues as a young person. I was very angry. I wanted to ask, what was it that was the root of that anger? Growing up in North Weezer.
Do you know what, I tried to really understand this myself, and I remember I had a conversation about it. And one of the most scary things about that is that I can't specifically pinpoint why I was so angry. I actually don't know what it was that was, but if I really think about the time that we grew up in here, we grew up in a very angry time though, bro. Like, that generation, like, we were just very screw face. We're like, no one really smiled. We used to wear black, charcoal gray, or dark gray, or navy blue. We didn't venture out of those colors. You know, it was a very dark and angry time. Like, especially me as well. Like, being of a lighter complexion, it's like I felt an even bigger need to get even into be even more angry or darker, because, you know, people would automatically assume because of your complexion that you might be soft. So I think I just got so deeply embellished in screw facism that I couldn't find my way out. But if I'm really honest though, I think, I don't know, man. Like, I think, do you know what it was? If I'm really honest, yeah, my parents tried to be really strict with me, yeah, and I think a lot of my ways of being was rebellious. I didn't like having strict authority over me. So as a retort to that, I would rebel. And in many ways, I would be more rebellious outside of my home than I was inside of my home.
Wow.
You understand? Inside my home, I would talk back. It would get wicked sometimes, but there was a limit. You had to know just how far you could go, because like my parents used to do tag team WWE. When one got tired, the other one gets tagged in, and they used to just, bro, they would deal with me good and proper. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think if I'm really honest, most of us around that era were it was a very angry time, bro. It's not like now where you can, like, you know, you can be the smiling guy and be cool, or you could be the funny guy. Like, amongst your inner circle you could, but on the outside, in the streets, bro, we had to be stern. We had to be stern and strong, bro, and that's what it was. You couldn't show no sign of weakness.
Did that ever grow tiring?
Huh?
Was that ever tiring, having to put that up constantly?
Yeah. Because me, I'm a joker. I'm an idiot. so I had parts of me that and also I was a dancer. Bro, what? I used to like dancing. Yeah, I was a dancer. No, not dancer like, you know, man, I'm not one of them dancers. I was like a bashment dancer. I was danceful. You know what I mean? I could dance. I had rhythm. Yeah, but it wasn't, I couldn't go out with the tugs of them and start dancing in the middle of the dance floor. We were by the corner at the wall, and you kind of had to hold your stance. You know what I mean? But I wanted to just bust a 1-2 willy bounce, dog. You see me? I wanted to bust it out, but it wasn't timely. It wasn't the time for that. So yeah. So when that question you asked me, yeah, bro, it did grow a little bit tiresome, because I wanted to be me, but I felt like we didn't have space for being man. Man had to kind of keep it within a remit, and just like, hold the corner and, hit me, what going on? You hit me just keeping it, But them time I wanted to, man wanted to bust out two dance stuff.
Wow.
Oh, God.
I love that. You've spoken about death up close, losing a close friend of yours. What does that do to someone so young in that environment where you can't even actually express the feelings that come after somebody dies so close to you? What was that experience like for you personally in that time, and that conflict of having to keep it together?
Well, when my best friend passed away.
Yeah.
If I'm real with you, I still haven't fully dealt with that, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I still haven't fully dealt with that. And I speak to his mum quite often. And even if we start the conversation talking about something that's happening right now, the conversation always will go back to the person who we both mutually miss and have lost. In terms of dealing with it, it's interesting though. When I have those kind of situations, it makes me kind of go harder, because I feel like when you lose someone close, it's like you now feel like I need to, especially if you're within some sort of field where you have to strive to achieve more, you feel like I need to strive more in dedication to that person. Like my best friend who passed away, like, he would always call me glitzy. Like, yo, Glitzy, yo, I see you on the red carpet. Yo, Glitzy, you glitz and glamour. And, you know, even though he was taking the piss and it was fun, like I know that he believed in the ability of what I had. So rather than allowing myself to sink into a low place, what I do instead is dedicate the pushing on to him, because I know it's something that he would have wanted me to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Is there, because you've spoken about this as well, do you feel if you had support around that time, it would have helped you deal with it? Aftercare support, where it was like, oh, how are you doing?
Nah.
Wow, okay.
Nah. There's no after, and that's the problem. It's like we've got young men, young women who are losing people that are close to them in ways that are not natural, and we're just expected to go back out into the world and carry on. There's nothing natural about that. There's nothing positive about that. I think at the very least, even if you're not going to give it to people, it should be there as an offering. You should be able to seek, look, there should be a trauma and loss line that you can contact when you've dealt with, a traumatic loss, especially through street circumstances or street-related circumstances. And we should be able to go there. Yeah. What did you say? What a lovely name that for you. Yeah. They got silent and rest in peace. Yeah, there should be a line where we could go to at least, seek that help if you want it. It shouldn't be a thing that is just non-existent. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying it should be mandatory that as soon as someone dies, everyone has someone. Well, to be honest, it would be a good thing if they did do that. Like, if there was a mandatory person that would come and visit you to, like, speak to you and just check up on you, maybe they should do that. But I guess it all comes down to finances, bro, and funding. And there's hardly funding for gender, alone. Yeah. As you know, as a financial man, you get me?
That situation allegedly resulted in you carrying a knife. And many young people who carry knives, there's always been this question of, are you going to end up protecting yourself, or are you going to end up being the perpetrator at any given time? And I wondered, with you, allegedly, when you were carrying a knife, what was your reasonings and thinkings behind carrying it allegedly?
Oh, bro, I was carrying a knife very, very early.
Okay, you said it.
Like, I was carrying a knife before that. I was carrying a knife very early. I started carrying a knife after, I must have been about 12 years old.
Ooh.
I got off a bus, and an older guy who was a good couple of years older, he must have been maybe even adult age, and I was in school, and he basically tried to finesse me out of my money. And when I thought about what he basically did, I was like, I kind of got robbed. And I was like, no, I can't have that again. And so I used to roll with my flicky. I used to roll with my flicky so much that I remember I had it on me every day, everywhere that I would go. I remember I went to a venue one time, and they did a search, and my man took it away. And I was so, like, it was so normalized for me to have my little flicky that I got angry that he was taking it away. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, this is, and he was like, no, you can't have this, and furthermore, it's illegal, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, what's he talking about? Because I was so used to having my flicky on me, and it was never really an issue. So, yeah, to go back to the point, I started doing it in response to something that happened to me where I felt like I didn't want it to happen again. And the thing is, I'm not going to say to you that I roll with it every day thinking that with the intent that I was going to use it on somebody. But you roll with it as with the intent of having protection, and that's the problem. A lot of the young kids, they roll with it thinking it's for protection, but when you take it out, you got to use it. So what are you going to do? Where's the protection? And you know the percentage of people who end up being stabbed with their own knife? It's ridiculously high, bro. It's more than half. So yeah, like, there needs to be talking around that. But as a young man, as a young man who wants to do it myself, I do understand it though. I had it as a protective measure, bro. I remember when we used to leave Northwest to go out of the area, everybody in my group would have something on them, something of the other. You know, that was the way that we used to roll, because you have to be careful. You go into another area, you got to make sure you're not naked. Naked meaning without anything on you. But these mentalities we need to unteach, because you go into a situation with these kind of things on you, you are looking for that problem, and you attract that kind of problem. So we've got to kind of try and unteach these things. Like, everyone can be a civilian. Go about your business. You ain't got to screw nobody else down. You ain't got to try and start nothing with nobody else. And you don't have to hold these kind of things with you. Because the amount of boys that I've seen in jail, who were in jail on murder charges, doing a crime as a joint enterprise because them and their friend did something to somebody else, it's ridiculous, bro. And they're all remorseful. None of these young boys that I meet in jail are like, yeah, I did him up. No, bro. Maybe at the time they were like that, but now they're remorseful. And I've met boys inside jail who were like 17 years old who were doing another 15 to 16 years in jail. Doesn't make any sense. It's nonsensical loss of life. The loss of life of the person who they took, and also the loss of life of their self. You understand? It's ridiculous.
Mad. You've talked about, again, coming from where you're coming from, having to at times play down your intelligence. You've talked about your grades and going for your GCSEs, hiding your poetry. Where do you think that comes from, especially in our community? Where does that come from, whereby high intelligence, high IQ, success, education-wise, where does that come from, whereby it's seen as a bad stigma? Or is it? Is it seen as a bad stigma?
I think it's that whole in school, like, you know, like the whole analogy of a teacher's pet, the whole demonization of you being a boffin, you know what I mean? But actually, when I actually come to pass, when I actually came to deal with it myself, I realized that actually, rather than people disrespecting me for being intelligent, a lot of the men from where I'm from, like, they were actually, big up Rose as well, big up Rose Gallagher in the chat. Much love, my love, darling. A lot of people actually celebrated me. And I was completely, bro, you need to understand, I was like, huh? I wasn't expecting that. I remember I came back to the hood and the man was like, yo, you know, Roach, got 11 GCSEs, what? Man was like, man wanted to do a set. Like, man wanted to celebrate the fact that I got 11 GCSEs. I was trying to hold it down. I was like, yeah, man, I got 11. You say I got 11, I got 11. You know, I got 11, I got 11. You know what I mean? Like, you're embarrassed because, not because, you know, I wasn't embarrassed of being smart. I was more embarrassed because I didn't want to make my friends feel bad. The friends that the two that I were with, did one of them get one? I think one of them might have got one. There was one between them in terms of GCSEs. And I wasn't really trying to, like, I'm not a stunter. I don't do stunting. From then to now, I don't do stunting. You know, I got this and you ain't got, I'm not into stunting, bro. So I didn't really want to make anybody feel bad, but big up the man then though, because they made that was a very shifting day for me, because I realized it's actually okay. So it's all right for me to try and achieve. And then from there, I just started to go at it.
Wow. It's all right for me to try and achieve. Yeah. That's beautiful. Because, you know, once you started on that trajectory, it gave license for other people behind you to be like, Roach, yeah, okay, right. I might have to actually put my head down and try and
I remember even when I went to university. I went to university. I told my brother I'm going to university, and I never forget, he was like, why? And I was like, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, I don't actually know. So I was like, yeah, it's something to do now. I want to do it. It's something to do. And I was like, I remember thinking to myself, I actually don't know why I'm going. He just put it on me, like, why are you going? Like, why are you leaving the hood? But then I always say to myself that I remember after that there was quite a few boys, not from my immediate circle, but I think I was at the experimental one. I went to uni and I came back with like, yo, there's parties and then there was quite a few people that came after me who went to university. So I'm not saying I'm the reason why, but I feel like sometimes in our kind of, in those kind of environments, you need one to do it.
Yes.
Before you will give it a try. And I was very happy to be that one to do it, to try and set the example for others to follow, if it needed to be that way.
100%. I love that, man. Jay-Z in a New York Times interview, he was talking about this concept in that hood and the community of that question of what are you looking at? And that idea, if two, for example, young black males see each other across the road on the bus or something like that, and one catches an eye, that question, where does that question come from? What are you looking at? And he was looking at the idea of that individual seeing their vulnerabilities, seeing their fears, and that individual being scared because, oh my gosh, you see who I really am. What are you looking at, bro? What are you looking at? And I wonder for you, when you were...
That's interesting.
When you were trying to navigate that, there's two kind of conflicting people within you. Was there any person that you think saw who you were, like saw your, whether it was your friend who you could be vulnerable with? Was there anybody that saw past the exterior, the anger, and was able to see who Aaron really, really, really was?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think when I was in school, there was a group of girls that, like, the main girls and I say main girl, it sounds like mean girls or some shit, but the main girls and the main guys, we were really close. Yeah, like close, like hang out on the weekend close, and outside of school time, friends close. And it's interesting because I'll be real with you, yeah, I feel like this whole journey that I've been on was never something that I intended or preempted. But when I speak to some of my girls, yeah, they were like, yeah, Roach, you were always a bit different. Like, oh, Roach, yeah, you were always, and I'm like, what were you talking about, though? They were like, yeah, like, I think they were the ones who saw it, even when you didn't see it yourself. And I think that's testament to the power of a woman, to the power of women. Like, they have a different perception and foresight that sometimes, especially us as young men, we don't have yet, or we don't see yet. You know what I mean? And it's interesting when I have those conversations. Even after the other day, I was having a conversation with one of the girls that I went to school with, and she was saying something similar as well. And I was like, "But how did you know that? How did you see that?" And she was like, "Come on." And I'm just like, it wasn't evident for me. So, yeah, there were people, but in terms of having that vulnerability at those ages, no, that didn't happen, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I spent most of my youth and my childhood avoiding vulnerabilities in any way, which is probably why I started to do poetry. Because poetry was a way that was the only way that I had of expressing those innermost transgressions that I didn't feel comfortable saying out loud, but I could do so through the mechanisms of poetry and linguistic techniques, you know what I mean, where I could disguise what I was saying. So yeah, vulnerability is a hard one, man. It's taken me a long time to even get to a stage where I can show vulnerability, even as a grown man now. Wow.
Okay. So you find it easier to do in the art form, but not in normal interaction or conversation?
Nah, I'm getting there. Yeah. I'm getting there. I've come a long way. I'm a lot closer to, you know, being completely vulnerable. But yeah, like, I always find it, bro, like, I just love putting it into words, but in a way where I kind of implicitly disguise it to the point where you might be able to catch it, but you might not. But I know exactly what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And sometimes by putting it on the paper in that way as well, it's like, I feel like, yeah, boom, I've got it off of me. Do you know what I mean? I've got it off of me and it's there. And I've got one or two friends that I would go to and let them read it to see if they can make out what I was saying. One of my friends specifically, big up Grace, she would always know. She's very intelligent anyway, but she could always read between the lines of my inference. You get me? But yeah, man, it's hard, man. You know, vulnerability, especially coming from the inner city, as an inner city kid, like, it's not something that comes easy, which is why the rappers that master that, they do so well. They manage to put pain and vulnerability into music in a way that we've never heard expressed. And so when you do hear it, it's like, ooh. The reason why people like Potter Paper are so loved, you get me? Sure. Even in terms of, like, I was talking about K Coke, I was saying Potter's got the same thing that K Coke had, and still has. You know what I mean? Let me not say had. You know what I mean? Still has. It's that vulnerability, that pain, that passion, where it's like, raw. I can feel your pain through your music, and it's unfortunate that in general most of us can only do that through the forms of music or some form of art. I think we need to get to the stage where we can maybe be together and be like, yo, I've been through shit, my guy. You know what I mean? And speak candidly about it with each other, in front of each other. But we're getting there. I feel like generations are changing.
Yeah, 100%. Rose, you got to go. Thank you for joining us, Rose, man. Big up to you. We're going to put the full interview will be on the front of our profile page if you want to check it out later. All right, cool. We're looking at the time. Cool. Well, you have done amazing things, bro. From your interviews, your documentaries, and I wanted to ask, for you, how have you gone about seizing opportunities? Like, how have you gone about finding loopholes that you could go through and be like, I can do this, I can execute this? What has your method kind of been?
Bro, like, perseverance, bro. I'll be real with you. First thing you need to do is find out or realize what you are really and genuinely passionate about. They got Sherry. What you've got to do, that's the first thing. Find out what you're really genuinely passionate about, what you really love. And then once you know what that is, you have to research around that area. Who holds the key? Who holds the keys to accessing the opportunities that can allow me to bring this passion to fruition in a way where I can make it my life and my career? Yeah. Once you do that, you start hitting those people up or getting towards those people as much as possible. You're probably going to have to contact maybe 100 people, and out of those 100 people, maybe 2 will get back. One will probably lock you out, and then maybe only one will be a person that you can actually connect with. Keep those connections as well. Networking and your network is important. You need to hold those connections really. Like, try not to sever ties. Also work on yourself, whatever your craft may be. You have to work on it, man. You have to get good at what you do, so that when you get into a position of opportunity, now you know how to capitalize.
100%.
Like, if there's no point us accessing opportunity and we can't capitalize on those opportunities, it's very important. But I think overall, in terms of me, bro, I've just been persistent. Like, I've been persistent, and I got to a stage where I was like, look, I believe in me. I know what I can do. So all I have to do is put it in front of those people. Because I noticed that in my career, when I finally came into contact with these people and I put it in front of them, they were like, Raw, why don't I know who you are? And then that showed me it's like, okay, humble yourself. You need to understand that people don't know who you are. So you need to put it in front of them. And once you do, this man's driving with one light. Once you are in front of them, and once you do that, things start to connect. So humbling yourself is very important. Staying persistent and persevering is also very important. But for me, becoming good at what you do is of utmost importance. And also knowing what you want to do. Like, people always say to me, oh man, I'd love to do, I'm going to be a presenter. Yeah, but what do you want to present? I want to do like stuff like what you do. Yeah, but what are you passionate about? And then people start to struggle with that question. I don't mean to say it to be pedantic or to be pernickety or difficult, but I say it to just put it on you for you to understand that, work out what your passion is. And sometimes people think their passion might not be important. You could have obsession with plastic bottles. Yeah. You might think it's pointless to you, but you can make a whole series. You can make a whole. There might be 700,000 more people who are obsessed with bottles too. So before you know it, you have your own community. Yeah. You know what I mean? Never underestimate what it is that you are interested in or what you're passionate about. There will always be others who are also passionate in that as well. But you need to know what it is, and it needs to be genuine. Because if it's not genuine, it will get found out straight away. But for me, bro, I've just kept on going on, bro. I've had countless rejections, even up to date. I still get rejections, countless rejections, but you have to be able to just wipe that off and keep pushing forward, bro. And when you're good at what you do, people can only deny you for so long.
True.
You keep knocking on the door, bro. It's only so long until someone has to open that door and find out who you are.
That's deep.
You understand? Keep knocking on that door, man.
Love that. Love it. For you, how do you define what success is? Because you're people would see the latest one you put out, the BBC Three documentary, and be like, oh, amazing. But for you, I know that there's still heights that you want to get to. What is success for you? What does that look like for Aaron?
I think success for me is when things have impact. When they can, like, for me, it's never really been about fame for me. It's not been about fame and stuff for me. What it is for me has always been how can I best positively impact society. I know it sounds like large and fantastic, but that's a big thing to me. Like, before I was doing documentaries, I was working with behavior. Like, I'm a behavior specialist, so I specialize in challenging behavior in young adults. Like, that's something that's very close to my heart. You know what I mean? So it was beautiful when I had a chance to bring them both together in the form of documentary. But it's like, when I had to leave working with some of my young people, it hurt me. But then one of my friends was like, yeah, but bro, don't think of it like that, because now you got an opportunity to kind of impact even more young people. And I'm like, that's a good point. So if my work is impacting people in a positive way, if it's giving empowerment, if it's giving inspiration, if it's giving clarity to a environment and a terrain that a lot of people don't understand, then that's my success. Biggest success for me will be that I've got myself to a stage where everything is going so well that I'm able to open up a school that's dedicated to behavior issues and behavior conditions. That will be my ultimate success. When what I do in other aspects of my career becomes so well noted that it gives me the clout and the opportunity to open up the school. I really want to have my own school that is dedicated to those people who would be seen as hard to reach and hard to teach, and usually maybe dashed out of the schooling system. I want to in a place that's not a PRU, not approved, not a holding ground. It's going to be a place that can work therapeutically and in a rehabilitative manner with young people who were like me, who had behavior issues and behavior conditions, bro. That will be my ultimate success.
That would be beautiful. Oh, I pray that happens, man. That would be beautiful. And that kind of leads on to my last kind of area I want to look at is, for you, what does purpose and legacy look like? What are you here to do, and what do you want to leave behind?
Bro, I know why my struggle is as it is, because I'm not supposed to be the one to fly quickly and easy. I was in a meeting today, and even the person today was saying, why are you not bigger? And I was like, bro, I don't really know, but I do know. I didn't want to say to him, but I do know. The reason why I do know is because my journey is not meant for me to fly. My journey is meant for me to be part of building the foundations. I keep saying it, but like, what I do is not about me. What I do is what I build to contribute to the foundations of those who come after me. You understand? So I realize that. So legacy for me is making sure that I kill my opportunities. I'm looked upon and looked back on and saying, oh, Rod, remember, you know, some people might not know, but you know, Aaron Roach Bridgeman, and then like, they show it and it's like, oh, Rod, that's really good. And it's like, oh, I can do that. Or, do you know what, let's build upon that. Let's get someone who can also, do you know what I mean? That's what my legacy is going to be. My legacy is just doing great work. Yeah. Great quality work, impacting in a positive manner, and allowing that door to be opened up to those who come after me. Yeah. That's what my legacy is. That's what it looks like for me. You know what I mean? And yeah, bro, I don't even know how else to verbalize it. It's really, I understand my position. Like, I'm not gonna be the viral star. I'm not gonna be the one that everyone's talking about and that everyone knows. But what will happen when I'm gone and when my time has finished is that you will look back on what I've done, and you will look back on it with respect. Not because I did some madness that went viral, but because I put in work and I produced quality, respectful quality, and I did my best to uphold myself as a proud black man who wasn't compromising and who positively contributed back to his community. Come on, man. Can we have a round of applause in that comment section? Bro, that was an Obama speech right there. I love that. Yes, we can, my bro. Your last question is, you haven't used your pass card. You haven't used your pass card. My pass card? Yeah, you haven't used it. Oh, no, I haven't. Where are you going to go?
So your last question is this. You ready?
Yeah.
It's not. It's simple. Yeah, it's just. Do you have a question for me?
Okay. All right. So you've had a conversation. Oh yeah. But before having a conversation with me, what does Aaron Roach Bridgeman as a person look like to you from an outside perspective? This is a bit, so I'm always interested. No, I don't know how people perceive me. What does it look like to you from an outside perspective?
That is interesting. You know, I think it's along some of the lines of the things that you said. Someone says, Aaron, a real one, no cap, always showed love to me since a youth man till now. Big up,
Big up,
mix match.
100%. That's my peoples. Big up the Birmingham crew.
How does that feel? Do you know what? I think it's along some of the lines of what you said, that somebody who wants to tell the stories that people want to tell but don't actually have the card to say it or the card to do it. So when there's certain things that you go into and you talk about that if someone else did it, it wouldn't be as authentic. But I feel when you do it, it's authentic. I know that you care about what you're talking about and you invested in it. You know, so whatever I see you in, it looks like this is a gentleman who is invested in those things you talked about, making a positive impact through these topics that you talk about. And these are, you know, you talked about it the other day about, you know, some of your documentaries being on Channel 5 and the stigma that kind of gives and sometimes it gets overlooked. But I feel the quality, as you talked about, the quality of those documentaries is what sticks out to me, as in this person is invested in bringing things to the light, empowering, inspiring in some way, some shape or form. And I think because you've been going for so long, it shows that it's not a fad. Like it's like real, it's genuine. So yeah, from the outside, that's what I see.
My bro, you know. Tell the commissioners that, man. Tell the commissioners. Tell them to get some real efficacy and fake on TV, bro. I'm joking. You're not hating me, but I always find it interesting. You know why I find it interesting? Because people realize that I think a lot of people from the outside perspective really think that man is squeaky clean. When people find out to me that was quite road. And
when what? Say again. When what?
When people find out that there's a history to me that was quite road, what I find interesting is that a lot of people are like, what? Nah, never. And I'm like, for real. But I find it interesting to see people's perspective, because I think for some people, I must come across as like really squeaky clean. This guy that's always been a positive person.
Yeah, no, you do seem like that as well.
But that's interesting to me because that's not the truth, as you know. But like, but I just find it interesting to see what people's perceptions are and how they come to that. I must be doing something right, because those who know me know, you know, they'll find that funny. But yeah. This has been good, man. This has been a good, insightful conversation, my brother. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you, man. Thank you. Do you want to plug anything to shout out that's coming as well?
Yeah. And if anybody hasn't seen it, please watch Spending Black, The Currency of Community.
Yes, I was watching that last night.
BBC iPlayer. Also, if you guys haven't, check out the Black History School. That is a project that I've also been involved in a different capacity. I've been presenting on there. I've been doing some drama on there, some acting on there, even some cooking on there as well. It's a really positive project.
So you said that's called the Black History School?
It's called the Black History School. The Black History School UK. UK,
okay. Where can they find it?
Yeah, Google it, it will come up. Okay. Google, Instagram, all the socials, like a lot of great content on there. What else have I got coming up? Just follow me. Follow me on the socials. You got me on here. Same thing across all the socials. I got a few things happening. I got some ideas that I want to bring to life off the back of the Spending Black documentary as well. So yeah, keep following the journey, and you know, God willing, we make more quality content and more quality programming. 100%.
Can we have a round of applause in the comment section, please? Amazing, bro. Thank you so much for your time, man. Love, always.
Nah, man, it's cool,
we
bro.
always say, anybody that comes on this platform, we become their champions. Anything that you're doing, we'll be on a repost real quick. Anything that you need to funnel through to our audience, let me know, because it's not something we take for life. It's not like a one-stop thing. It's forever now. You're locked in. You're locked in. So if any support you need, let us know, please, bro.
And likewise, bro.
No
Just shout me. I'm here, man. I'm always accessible, man. You know how it goes.
No worries, man. Love always, man. Have a good evening.
Love. Have a good night, yeah?
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for 21 questions with Aaron, Roach, Bridgeman. Let us know how you found it in the comment section. Thank you for joining us. If you've never, ever joined us before, thank you for coming today. We've got like 66 episodes like this that you can watch and binge on. Just click the IGTV link in the Instagram thing or whatever you call it. Or if you want, just watch it on YouTube, and you can do that through our link in the bio. But Monday, we're going to be announcing who our live guest is for our second live event. It's going to be the 30th of November. 30th of November. Put it in your diaries. On Monday, we're going to be announcing who we have as our special guest. Tickets are going to be available on that day as well. So please, it's limited tickets. So when the ticket gone, they're gone. We can't do anything. Yeah, no guest list. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned to what we're doing. Follow the socials, and be sure to catch us next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. 21 questions. I've been Icy. Take care. Peace.